This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stockbox interview. Joining me on Stockbox today is Mike Ralston, the CEO of Blencowe Resources. Hi Mike, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Yes, it's good to have you on again, Mike. Of course, we're talking about your Orom-Cross Graphite project in Uganda. So where are you right now with regards to the work programme?
We took an approach when we raised the money last year of getting moving very quickly on our drilling campaign, which was designed to delineate a JORC standard resource of approximately 8 to 10 million tonnes, which we believe is going to be enough material for the first 10 years life of mine. So we worked through that drilling. The samples were prepped in the labs in Tanzania and went down to South Africa. And I believe we're 1 to 2 weeks away from bringing out that JORC resource, a maiden JORC resource for the company, which is quite an exciting milestone because we obviously need that indicated resource in order to move forward into the studies phase for the business, which is what is next in line. At the same time, we took some of those samples as well and sent them off to SGS Lakeside Laboratories in Canada. SGS over there are recognized as one of the global leaders in terms of graphite and in terms of the beneficiation processing. And we are expecting over the next couple of months to get a full process flow worksheet in terms of what we can achieve as a concentrate, how we can achieve that, and the different mix of end products that we'll be able to sell. So the MET test work's on the way, the JORC is on the way, and we're pretty excited about progress. We've obviously got a big year ahead as we move from that through into the next phase, which is going to be getting an internal concept study put together, which is a preliminary assessment of what the project is going to look like for those first 10 years, based on where we're going to mine, what we're going to mine, etc. And then ultimately in the second half of the year, we're going to move forward into a pre-feasibility study.
Okay. So in 1 to 2 weeks, then we can hopefully expect the JORC mineral resource. That's good to hear. That's a significant milestone in any company's timeline. What does it mean then to the business to get this JORC mineral resource? And what are the next steps to continue to deliver value there?
So obviously one takes that and it's a particular area of the licensed tenement that has been drilled. It's the area that we believe we're going to mine. So you need to take the actual samples from there and understand what the end product from that particular ore is going to look like. And so we're going to be designing a mine plan, an open pit mine plan. Let's remember that this Orom-Cross graphite project is very near to surface. So it's all going to be low cost mining, open cut mining. But we'll be putting that mine plan together. We'll be obviously putting together a process flow, which ultimately we'll be sending to engineers to build a processing plant that ultimately has to be built and obviously get the CapEx numbers around that. And we will be coming through into that PFS to show what the end-to-end business as a commercial operation will look like in terms of how we're going to mine it, what it's going to cost us, what we require, what the capital cost of all the equipment and the mining and the infrastructure is going to look like, and ultimately going out there and finding potential offtake partners and getting a preliminary estimation of what we can do in terms of selling costs, prices, and putting it all into a pre-feasibility study, which will be signed off by a third party. And we are trying to get all that done by the end of the year. So we've moved pretty quickly to date, despite COVID and all the setbacks that's created. But we want to keep that momentum. We think we've got something special, and not just in terms of the project, but we've got a market that's getting very, very hot in terms of electric vehicles, the lithium-ion batteries that go into those EVs, and obviously the graphite that goes into those lithium-ion batteries. So we want to keep the momentum going, and that means we've got to keep news flow. We've got to keep presenting further value add to the market going forward.
Okay. And what are your views then on the state of the EV market and the direct correlation to the battery metals that will be the fuel in this whole growth story?
Yeah, it's an incredible story that's emerging, and I think we're literally just tip of the iceberg at the moment. But I was reading today from Benchmark Minerals Intelligence, who are one of the leading global experts in this battery metal space, that they've now officially hit the magic number of 200 gigafactories that are in the pipeline under construction. And that's a significant number because it represents about 3.5 terawatt hours in terms of what's coming versus about 750 gigawatt hours, which is what's there in terms of factories today, which is an enormous step up in terms of the amount of batteries that are going to be produced going forward. VW itself has announced 6 of these plants in Europe, and that's just VW. And Tesla's Nevada plant is talking about requirement of 1 million tons of flake graphite itself on its own by 2030, which is 3 times the annual production today for the entire world market. And that's one factory. So the forecast demand is set to increase exponentially. I don't foresee that people are putting gigafactories and spending all that money out there in order to have them sitting idle. So there's going to be a demand for the raw materials that feed. And obviously graphite is one of the key materials there. From our perspective, the supply is not there to meet that demand. Yes, there's lots of graphite out there in the world, but plenty of that graphite is not applicable to this particular requirement. And plenty of that graphite is in difficult locations or will be difficult to mine or to project finance or other scenarios that are going to create restrictions. So we're running into a huge demand-supply inequilibrium, and that's going to create some pressure on prices. So all of this is happening in the macro sense. We're sitting down at a micro level trying to build a project that will be able to fulfill some of that demand. We've got a high-quality graphite project in a low-cost mining scenario in a safe location, and it couldn't be better in that sense.
Okay. Well, thank you very much there, Mike Ralston, the CEO of Blencowe Resources, for that update, and hopefully we can catch up in a week or two's time when you've got your JORC mineral resource all sorted and published.
Mark. I look forward to that, and let's catch up when we've got that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you for listening to this Stockbox interview. For more information, interviews and videos, visit our website at stockboxmedia.com or give us a follow on Twitter by searching @StockboxMedia.